Hi, everyone. I'm just going to give a moment for folks to trickle in from the waiting room. Okay, great. Let's get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sarah Bassett, the MOQ1 Knowledge Manager, and I'm excited to be with you today for the fifth session in our 6-week advanced webinar series. Whether you're new to MOQ1 or you've been using the platform for a while, today's session will provide some valuable insights to enhance your experience. In this series, we are covering key strategies and best practices to help you unlock the full power of MOQ1. Today's focus is on commissions, markups, and payables. And I'm really eager to walk you through how to optimize your profit sharing setup and maximize your MOQ1 earnings. So today we will be covering how to understand and manage your base commission structure, how to add markups to boost your profits, how to effectively share profits with shop creators and non-user payees. So as always, we'll have time for a Q&A at the end, so feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A section as we go. I will be sure to address them before we wrap things up. I also want to let everyone know I will be sending a follow-up email within the next 24 hours with a recording of this webinar and some contact information you can use to contact our support team or even set up a one-on-one demo if you'd like to review how to set up payables in your particular business scenario. So let's get started. Before we dive into the customizable profit and payable features of the MOQ1 platform, let's first review the base commission structure. So keep in mind that the pricing I'm about to review is out of the box. This means when you launch the shop, this is the pricing that you'll see. You can increase your margins beyond this base percentage to increase your profits from here. So when you launch an MOQ1 shop, your company automatically earns a 30% base commission on the list price of each product. So for example, the G500 t-shirt has a list price of $17.95. This price covers the cost of the product, production fees, and more. So of that $15.95 collected for this item, $5.38 is allocated to your company as your base commission, and it will be paid to you via a monthly commission check. It's important to note that when your customer places an order, they pay all associated taxes and shipping fees at the point of sale. This means you don't have to worry about tracking these costs or handling any complex accounting. Everything is taken care of automatically. So your company will receive one monthly commission check for all profits generated across any shops within your company directory, and you will never be invoiced for any costs. Your commission check will include a detailed breakdown of commissions with each payable listed as a line item. This allows you to clearly see how much you need to pay each employee or client based on the profit sharing rules you've set up for them within your MOQ1 shops. Now, there is a $100 commission threshold that must be reached before a check is issued. But if that threshold isn't reached in one particular month, the funds will roll over to the next month until the target is met. There's no expiration date on those funds. They'll just keep accruing until you reach that $100 checkpoint. So as I mentioned previously, the pricing I just reviewed is your out-of-the-box pricing. However, you can add as much markup as you'd like to the items in your shop to expand your margins far beyond that base 30% margin. Really, the sky is the limit. So for example, in the e-commerce space, a typical t-shirt sells between $25 and $30. This means that you could actually increase the price of the G500 t-shirt by approximately $7 without exceeding the standard market price for that product. So adding a $7 markup to the G500 would increase your margin on every G500 you sell to more than $12. So let's jump into the management portal to review how to add markup to your entire catalog, specific product categories, and individual products. So bear with me here. I have a lot of screens open to share all the things we're going through today. Okay. So now that we are in the product manager, I am logged in as an admin account, but I am within a shop that I created here. So to start, let's add some margin to our entire catalog all at once. So for those of you that have attended these demos before or already added your own margin, you know that you can simply click this modify product pricing button here. And this will open up our new pricing rule configuration page. So as you can see here at the top, this is indicating that this markup will apply to all products in the catalog. Again, we'll review in a second how to get a little bit more granular with this, but just for the basic functionality overview, you can add markup based on a fixed amount or in a percentage-based way here. Now, it's very important to note that the percentage that is added here is based on the percentage of the current list price. So for example, adding a 10% markup here, which we'll do this really quick. So if we're adding a 10% markup to the out-of-the-box pricing, this will increase the G500 price from $17.95 to $19.75, which is an additional $1.80, again, 10% of that previous list price. So now let's go through and I'll show you how to add margin to a particular category. So let's say, for instance, I have identified that within my market, sweatshirts can be a little bit pricier and my customer market is still going to be able to convert on that garment. So I'm going to filter down to just sweatshirts here. And now if I click modify filtered product pricing, you'll see that this pricing rule is applying to products with this sweatshirt department attribute. So only sweatshirts are getting this additional markup. So let's say I want to add $5 to every sweatshirt. Let's save that change. Okay, now lastly, if you want to get really granular and you have identified, again, this G500 is selling for $25, you want to get a little bit closer to that within your market, I can actually click on the G500 t-shirt and I'm going to edit my pricing rules here to add another $5. Once I save my changes here, let's just jump over to our product configuration page and we can take a look at all of the rules that we have created. So this cogwheel here is a great reference for you to be able to review any rules that you've created. You can also edit and delete rules from here. But again, all rules that we have created are in addition to other rules. So you can see the markups we applied to the catalog. That stays in place as we layer additional markups to a specific department and an individual product. And again, this is on top of that base 30% commission that's built into the product. So your base commission and any markup you add are combined to determine your total profit on a sale. So let's jump over to a shop. I have a G500 open here. So this one has a base price because we have not refreshed to include our changes yet. But now that we refresh, we see that this product purchase price is now $24.75. So that's the $1.80 that we added with the 10% catalog markup and the $5 that we added to the G500 itself. So our base commission is still $5.38, but we've added $6.80 in markup. So our total profit is $13.18 for every G500 we sell. And again, that's staying within the standard market price for this product in an e-commerce space. So that's really, really important to understand that you really have a lot of room in most markets to increase these catalog prices and really rack up the commission pretty quickly. Let's jump back over to our presentation for a moment, just for a little bit more information on how to strategize your pricing. So now when you're setting prices in your shops, it's really important to do research on your competitors. That way you understand their pricing and you can provide the best experience possible to your customers. So for instance, if you're a team dealer, what are the big national names charging for t-shirts in their online shops? If you primarily work with bulk orders, you may want to set your list price to ensure your bulk pricing is competitive, but our bulk pricing that we offer within MOQ1 shops was developed to remain competitive with other online retailers in the space out of the box. You may have room for some additional margin here depending on your particular market, but I just want to make a note about our bulk pricing and how we developed it. We did make sure that these were competitive prices out of the box. And it's very important that when you're considering the bulk pricing, you think about what your customer would pay if they asked you for one t-shirt, right? So these typical list prices, a lot of us, folks that are in the decorator space, you may look at these prices and they look a little high to you. However, in a traditional e-commerce model, they're actually pretty darn low. So just consider the circumstances if your customer were to ask you for one t-shirt with any previous e-commerce experience that you were offering, generally you would have to either turn that down or charge an astronomical amount for that. Okay, so we have launched our shop. and added our markup. Our pricing is optimized and all the money is flowing back to the shop administrator or the company. So as a shop administrator, you may not be the one building shops though. So how do you incentivize your reps to create and present these shops to their clients? So many of our partners use MOQ1's profit sharing functionality to share profit with their reps. So similarly, many reps will use the same feature to share profit with their clients. We'll roll through both of those scenarios, starting at the top with the shop administrator. So as we reviewed earlier, all profits are sent to the shop administrator or company for distribution. The commission check you receive will include all profits, commission, and any markup added for all sales that occur in shops within your company directory. From there, it's up to the shop administrator or company to distribute funds to any payables that have been created. We understand that you want this money to come from you, right? So these are your shops, these are your clients. We want for any payment they receive to be associated with your company rather than MOQ1. But we don't leave you to manage all that accounting yourselves, right? So your commission check, as I mentioned before, will include each of your payables listed as line items, along with any profit owed based on the profit sharing rules that you entered when you created them. So let's jump back into the management portal as a shop administrator, and we can go through kind of how this works. Okay, so as a shop administrator, I can create multiple account types. So let's jump over to the company directory to be sure that we're creating someone in the correct place. And I'm going to click users here. So remember, shop administrators have access to all shops within your company directory, but a shop administrator can create additional shop administrator accounts. So if you have multiple managers within your company that you want to have access to all the shops, you can absolutely do that. But make sure you use that power wisely, because again, this person will have access to all shops and all reporting data. So the most common scenario is for a shop administrator to add their reps as shop creators. This enables reps to create and manage their own shops without being granted access to anyone else's. So let's jump in and create a new rep. We will log in as John here in just a moment, but let's create a new one just so we can roll through the process. When I click new user login, I will enter my rep's name here. So I will say John Jones, and I'll enter John's email address, john@moq1.com. And I will select his user role here. So again, I want to create John as a shop creator. I do not want to grant him access to all the shops within my company directory, but I do want him to be able to create and manage his own shops. So I will click shop creator here. And in order to share profit with John, I'm going to click this box here to enable profit sharing for this user. Now, when I save my changes, I'm going to be prompted to create a payable for John. Okay, so we also have the ability, you can see the checkbox below his payee name, that I can add address information here. Again, I want to be very clear, we are not sending commission directly to John. This will be sent to your company to distribute. However, we understand that some folks may want to use this as a way to catalog and maintain these addresses so that it's easier for you come time to send these commission checks. Okay, so functionally, a payable is a bucket of funds being set aside for this person, and this will become a line item on your commission check again. So it's very, very common for shop administrators to share anywhere from 20 to 100% of that base commission with their shop creators. So you have the freedom to select any percentage here, but I'm going to go ahead and choose 50%. So if I choose to share 50% of my base commission with this new shop creator, they will receive half of my base commission. So again, we'll go back to that G500 again throughout this webinar, just to make this really clear, that $5.38 or 38-cent base commission from the G500, this would be split between myself and John if he sells a G500 in his shop, leaving each of us with $2.69 base commission here. This markup percentage up here cannot be edited. when creating a user payable because markup is automatically attributed to the user who adds it. So for example, if John now goes in and adds $1 to every product in his shop, he'll receive 50% of my base commission that I'm sharing with him, plus the $1 that he added. Now, on the other hand, let's say John wants to share profit with his client in the form of a rebate. So bear with me here as I swap over to my rep John's account really quickly. I do have that open. Okay, so now I am John. John here has created a shop for his client. In order to get his client to have some skin in the game and really go out to market with this shop, he wants to share $1 with his client for every product sold. And he's planning to send this out to them as a rebate at the end of every month after he gets his commission check. He also wants to add an extra $1 in his pocket for every sale. So he's going to add a $2 markup to every product. So this will work the same as it did for the shop admin. We are going to click on products, modify product pricing, and I'm going to add this $2 markup here. When we save our changes, every product price will increase by $2. Now, John would then go into the commission tab over here, and he will click share commission with this shop. This will prompt him to create a payable for his client. And again, this is not a user. This is a bucket of funds, and that translates into a line item on the check. So we are going to say this is John's client and client at, there we go, test.shop. Again, you can include the address information. This is just for your personal accounting purposes. And John added this $2 markup. He wants to share half of that with his client. So he would create this payable with 50% of the markup there. Okay, so now this payable exists and we will start the accounting process. You can see John here when we click on the commissions tab. John is receiving 50% of the commission, 100% of the markup. He is splitting that markup with his client here. So you can see all of that represented within the commission tab as well. So let's jump over to the reporting. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I just want to make a note really quickly about these payables here. So if John wants to give his client visibility into the shop's performance in the future, he can also create a report viewer account for them and link this payable to that user. It's not a necessary step to share profit, but I will go through that really quickly. So as John, I am within my shop. I'm going to click users, new user sign in, and I'm going to say John's client and client at shop or test.shop. Isn't that what we did? And again, here, this user role, you're seeing report viewer. Now this report viewer account will not see products, designs, marketing. They will see orders and reporting, and that's it. They will not have the ability to make any changes to a shop. They won't be able to see any commission that is not attached to the payable we're about to link them with. So they won't see any of John's money or any of the shop administrator's money. They will only see their own. So I'm going to click enable profit sharing for this user. Now it's important here, I'm being prompted to link this user to an existing payable. And now the reason that is because we are only able to create one shop level payable to share markup. We can't share markup with multiple people. So that's really important to note here. But this is the John's client payable that we created prior to creating the report viewer account. So if I click this, I click link user to payable. And now my client is a report viewer listed in this shop. And when I click on them, you'll see that they have profit sharing attached to them here. So you can always check this. You can always unlink them from this payable. The funds will be diverted to this payable only while the payable is active. If you delete it or unlink it from a user, then that relationship ends immediately. So before we finish up, let's quickly review the reporting functions within your MOQ1 account and how you can use them to track commissions and optimize your profits. So I'm just going to jump over to reporting here. I want to point out two particular reports. So the sales by payable report provides shop administrators and shop creators a reference of all funds owed to each of the payables within the company directory. So here, when I am John viewing this, I'm only going to see payables that I have created and myself. I'm not going to see anything above me. So that's really important to note. When I view the same report as a shop administrator, I will see all the funds associated with my company. Okay, so let's actually jump over. I have some sample reporting here that I can show off to everybody just to see how this looks a little bit in practice. So again, the accounts that we just created, clearly there are no sales here or there. So I have created this sample report to kind of highlight what it could look like. So as you can see, each payable is listed out along with the total number of sales, sales totals, and total profits earned for the given time period. Another report I'd like to quickly point out is sales by product. So I have this one right here. Here you can see all of the products that have sold within your shop, along with the quantity of items that have sold, the subtotals, and the totals that are related to any discounts or anything that may have been added. So something that I really like to point out is that you can cross-reference this with your product export report, which I'll open up right here. So this product export report will tell you the cost versus list price that you have for all of these products listed in your shop. So you can calculate that profit by product, which is what I did here in this total commission tab. We have a quick formula here. Obviously, just price minus cost is going to equal your commission or your profit. So that's a really cool way to use some of the reporting to track your profits as we go. Let's share a different screen here really quickly. Okay, so as you can see, optimizing your profits and profit sharing will put you in a position to be super profitable with your MOQ1 shops. I encourage all of you to dig into the pricing in your shops, set markups, review any payables you've created, and just ensure you're fully optimized. As always, our team is here to help, but you can also find resources in our help center on many of these topics to help you along the way. So that officially brings us to the end of today's content. We've covered how the base commission structure works, how to add markups to increase your profits, and how to effectively set up and manage payables. Hopefully this gives you a clearer understanding of how to optimize your profit sharing setup within MOQ1 and start maximizing your earnings. So there is some additional profit and commission related functionality we're working on in the background that I want to share with you all before we move into the Q&A session. So first of all, we have transferring shop ownership. We understand that the structure of some of your businesses is such that you may have employees that are specifically responsible for shop building. However, you may have others who handle account and shop management. The MOQ1 system makes it so easy to create shops. It's really easy to empower your reps and account managers to take on the responsibility of shop building, but this functionality will make it easier for you to maintain your existing business structure. This will also be super useful when you have someone leave your company, so you can transfer ownership of a shop to a new employee rather than leaving it to be managed by the shop administrator. Next, we have a promotions and discounts feature coming very soon. So we will be launching functionality that will empower shop owners to create promotions and discounts to increase conversions. This feature will allow you to discount items, discount shipping, apply promotions to the entire shop, or require a code to be entered at checkout in order for that promotion to apply. We're working to launch this functionality as soon as we can. We just want to make sure it's perfect before we do. So if you have any particular requests for functionality you'd like to see incorporated into that, please let us know. We are looking for any and all suggestions. And now I would love to open the floor for questions. If you have anything you'd like clarification on, or if there's a specific area you'd like to dive deeper into, feel free to ask in the Q&A section. I'll be addressing your questions over the next few minutes. So just give me a moment as I stop sharing, move things around, and we can start to jump in. Okay, so first question here. Are checks actual paper or electronic? Does payment come with a spreadsheet that shows the payment breakdown, company, rep, client, etc.? So Ralph, that's a really great question. The checks are paper, they are mailed. We're working on functionality that will allow ACH payments. However, as pictured in the demo, I know it was kind of a graphic rather than a photo, but the check details will list out the payment breakdown, including the rep and the payment amount that is owed based on the totals that you requested be held for that client or rep. You can support that with that sales by payable report. We also have a sales by shop report that is really helpful in that. So you can see the commissions that are earned and the profits that are earned in each shop and on each individual order. So if you want to get really granular with that, you can use the reporting to do so. Is the $100 payout threshold for each store, or does it accrue for all the stores we have running? It is a cumulative amount. So this is for your entire company directory. If you start 100 stores and they all earn $1, you have reached that $100 commission structure or threshold. So again, if you have 100 stores earning $1, you have reached the $100. If it takes you 6 months to accrue that $100, you will still receive your check. Those funds will not expire. We'll continue rolling them over. We just need to make sure that we reach that threshold in order to go through the process of cutting the check itself. With regard to pricing changes, how then is the volume discount affected? So Ralph, that's a great question. The way that the discounts are applied is formulaic. So we are taking off a percentage based on the standard list price of the product, but that percentage is applied to any markups you've added. So for instance, if I go back and look at the G500 list price at the base price of $17.95 versus at our markup amount of $24.95, the bulk pricing will be higher for the $24.95 base price than it was for the $17.95 base price. I hope that makes sense. I know that's kind of a confusing concept, but you can also play with it and watch how it changes live in your shops, because that information is going to be dynamic and updated as you make changes. Can the stores change their pricing themselves, or do they need to request a price change from us? So this really depends on the structure that you have set up. So let's go through how this would work in the scenario that we went through in the demo. So a shop administrator created a shop creator account, and they created a shop for the client. So the rep created an account for the client. The client would then communicate any changes that they wanted made to the rep if they were profit sharing and they needed the prices changed. However, it's not super common for clients to have a ton of feedback about the list price because these shops are new for a lot of them in general. So you can help them strategically set their prices, and that can be a value add that you're able to bring to the table as well. If you want for your client to be able to make changes directly, they would have to be the one building the shop for now until we develop that shop ownership functionality. Then at that point, you'd be able to assign them ownership and they can manage the shop from there. But the general idea is for your company and your reps to be managing the shops. Thank you very much, Ralph. I appreciate the compliment. So Emma, you do not have to add a person as a user. Oh, I'm sorry, to split the commission. Yes, your commission can only be split with users within your company. So you would have to have a shop creator. That's the only person that you can split commission with. However, again, markup is always attributed to the user who creates it or who adds it. So if you want to share a particular dollar amount per sale, that's a really clean way to handle the accounting and set your clients' expectations for profit sharing. List and catalog price is the same, correct? Yes, Charles, they are the same. I use those terms interchangeably. I apologize if that was confusing at all. I try to use base list price and catalog price as your whatever it ends up as, whatever it's listed as currently on the site. Is there special pricing for military clients? So that's a great question. We actually don't have anything in particular for military clients, but I'm going to bring that to our CEO and see if there's anything that we can do there. I appreciate the suggestion. Will there be free shipping functionality? So yes, within that promotion functionality that I mentioned that is upcoming, we're super excited. We'll be able to launch free shipping functionality, and we are anticipating that this will be either free shipping that you can achieve based on entering a code, or by achieving a certain cart threshold. So a lot of folks like to offer free shipping with orders greater than $35. So that's something that we want to be able to accommodate in the system. So you would just enter the amount at which that discount is applied, or you could require them to enter the code. Justin, I love this question. How much is this monthly? MOQ1 is 100% free to you. It's always super surprising for folks to hear this because the traditional landscape of e-commerce solutions is pricey and complex. And we have sought to make this as simple as possible. So all of the costs that are associated on our end with production, with technology, with anything are all included in the price that your customer pays. So you will never be invoiced. We don't ask for your credit card information. All you will ever receive from us is a check. So I want to make that super, super clear. It's a really exciting thing that we're able to offer. If I'm creating a shop for a nonprofit, can I just collect the commissions or can I keep track of it separately in the system so I can send out their commission? Yes, absolutely. You can totally do that. We don't by any means require you to use the internal accounting system that we have here. If it's easier for you to achieve the profit sharing goals that you have with your client by doing that manually, we empower you to do that completely. I will bring some of this up though to the folks on our team and see if there's any way we can accommodate that in the future. Because we don't want you to have to do the accounting. We want to be a one-stop shop for you and make it easy. So yes, I will bring that suggestion to the team. Please add to the wish list for promotion and discounts. Suggestive ad items at checkout. That's a great suggestion, Barry. I will definitely add that suggestion. Sorry, I'm writing things down. Okay. A couple of items that may not pertain to this class, but I have found was, is there a search function? Yeah, so Jim, I agree with you. I think a search function would be really beneficial for folks that know the particular product codes that they're looking for. That's really powerful functionality. However, I do want to say that in a traditional e-commerce space, when folks are browsing shops, they don't generally know I'm looking for the Comfort Colors 1717, right? They know they like a particular brand and they may use catalog filters in order to view products that are just for that brand. But a lot of people don't really know the product codes. In the promotional products industry, of course, we all know them and many of our clients know them, but the end consumer tends not to know them quite so well. So I agree that that is good functionality. I'm just trying to give you a little mindset pivot and perspective shift that might help you think through what the customer's experience is going to be like on these e-commerce shops. Okay. Just have some great compliments rolling in here. Thank you, Charles. Yes, our turnaround time is pretty wild. I've been here for about 4 years with Bespoke Labs and working on MOQ1 over the last couple of years. But this 1 to 2 day turnaround really is an industry leading standard. And again, I want to say this 1 to 2 day turnaround time is our average. The majority of orders ship within the first 24 hours, barring any quality control cancellation, reprints, or if it's a super large order or anything like that. Our average throughout the Christmas season, when we had the highest volume on record for our facility, our average was 1.8 days. So it's pretty killer around here to be frank. So I hope that you all are able to take advantage of that and use it as a selling point with your clients as well. Just a couple more compliments rolling in. I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying this webinar series and this particular episode. This one I think is really valuable to everybody. I know that what we're offering is a little bit different. It requires a little bit of a mindset shift for folks to be able to understand how much of the functionality we really have taken care of within the MOQ1 platform. So I love the opportunity to explain these features to everybody. Do discounts and free shipping come off of our commission check? That's a great question, Bobby. So the discounts that you are able to apply are discounts on the markup and commission that you've added. So that's why we're empowering shop owners to utilize that functionality. We want to ensure that all costs are covered on the back end. and then you are able to handle the front end pricing from 0 to 100. You can determine exactly how much you're putting in your pocket and how much of that you want to sacrifice in order to provide your customers the pricing that you want to provide. Okay, if the shipping is $7.50 and the shop offers them free shipping, does this come off their commission? So to answer that one directly, the shipping is not incorporated into the commission amount. Again, the base commission is based on the list price of the product. So it's 30% of that $17.95. The $7.50 is covering all the shipping and handling, et cetera. And for folks that aren't aware, that $7.50 is a first item shipping rate for our economy methods, but it is dynamic and weight-based. So I looked at an order actually earlier today that contained 9 items that the shipping rate was still $7.50. So until that order exceeds 1 pound in weight, that shipping rate doesn't change. So just to give you some context on that rate as well. Just some context on the tall tees. So we actually, Jim, we did add a tall tee within the last week. I will send a link out with my follow-up email so that I can send the particular product listing. But we do have a few tall products available. We're working on adding more as well. Is there a way to add the commission in the system without adding someone to split the commission? I run things by myself. I don't add anyone. So Emma, I think what you're referring to is like finding a way to automate a commission split, which you could definitely do if you utilize multiple logins. I know it's kind of a messy solution for now, but you could create yourself a shop creator account in order to divert those funds to a separate payable. So we can talk about that offline. That's kind of a complex solution to just throw out here on a webinar. I hope that didn't confuse anybody, but Emma, we can talk about that further if you'd like. Okay, one thing I have noticed is that when new products come out, they are automatically added. For my stores, we like to offer only featured products so we can control the designs offered on them. Is that something they can set to turn off in the future? So Joshua, you actually have control over that right now. So I will send you, sorry, I have to write down your name to make sure that I send it to you only. We had a previous episode of this webinar that was specifically about featured products and curated shops. So shops that are comprised of 100% featured products. Now, if you utilize the automated shop creation functionality, we will add new products to your shop if those products meet your selected attributes or your selected colors. However, if you know from the outset that you are going to create a shop that only has featured products in it, and you avoid selecting shop colors altogether, we will never add any products to your shop. You will be starting off at 0 and you can build that product catalog manually from the jump. So I will send you that webinar episode via email, but if anyone else wants that, you can chime into the Q&A. I can add you to that email, but that would be a really, really great one for you to review because we go deep into that information. Is the decoration process DTG, DTF, or screen print? Justin, I love this question so much. So for those of you that have joined me on webinars in the past, I'm always super excited to talk about our proprietary print method, which is called Digisoft. So Digisoft is actually a combination of DTG and DTF print processes. We identified some pretty serious quality issues with DTG back in the day, and we just weren't happy with the quality we were able to put forward with DTG. However, when DTF came on the scene, we thought that everything looked really great, but it wasn't very scalable and the hand feel was pretty heavy. So what we did is we took about 2 years to develop the Digisoft technology, and we have been honing that technology for the last 2.5. So this is a long process and a lot of work that we put into this. We're super proud of it. And what we have come up with is something that allows you to print the same design with the same design fidelity, the same color accuracy on any fabric. So we are printing on polyester, we're printing on peak texture, we are printing on sweatshirts, on cotton, black, white, red, it doesn't matter the garment color. We are getting the exact same color accuracy and print detail. So I encourage you to order some samples of some of your more complex designs. We do also have a webinar that we did last week on Thursday that's about our specific design requirements for Digisoft and how to optimize your files and things like that. There is a document that you can download in our help center that includes most of that information as well. So I will include that in our follow-up, my follow-up email after this as well, just so you have that for reference. How do returns work? So that is a great question. With MOQ1, we handle all of the customer service. We do not accept returns. However, we do guarantee all product quality. So your customer will never be hung out to dry if they receive something that is damaged, poor print quality, that is lost in transit. We will absolutely cover replacement of any of those products. However, because of the custom nature of the printing process, we don't have an inventory management system for printed products. We would never send that product back to another customer. If it were reordered, we would print a new one, right? Because of our automated processes. So we do not accept returns. If that's something that you want to offer your clients, that would just be something that you'd have to communicate to them ahead of time as well. Are there any plans for integrations with other store platforms? So Neil, we actually don't have any plans to integrate with other platforms that we see as like competitors in this space. We are open to the potential of integrating with something like Shopify in the future that it allows you to incorporate a different online interface. However, for the orders that we are fulfilling and providing customer service for, it's very important for us to be able to provide a uniform experience to the client. So we want to make sure that we can send all tracking information, that we can provide the customer support, that we can handle the replacements, and that we can align with our 1 to 2 day shipping time, right? So, or our transit printing time, 1 to 2 day printing time. So we need to make sure that if folks have multiple products listed on their shops, that, you know, some are MOQ1, some are being fulfilled by themselves. The production times for those, the mechanisms for shipping, all of that would be totally different. So to answer your question directly, we do not have any immediate plans for integrations with other store platforms, but I wanted to explain the context of why and what kind of things we are taking into consideration when we move forward with that down the line. How many shops can you create? You can create an infinite number of shops. We have folks that have, I think someone just broke the record and has over 1,000 shops within their MOQ1 account right now. So really do not feel limited at all. You can create as many shops as your heart desires. Are these webinars that we didn't see or missed available? So yes, Bobby, absolutely. After I send my follow-up email with the recording of this webinar, let me know if there are particular topics that you're interested in. We're working on getting a resource center together on the MOQ1 website where we can host these webinars, or I'm sorry, the video files for the webinars so that they can be revisited at any time. But we have done advanced topic webinars on marketing strategies, design, on featured products. And I apologize, I can't think of the other two. It's been a whirlwind over the last 5 weeks, but yes, we can absolutely provide you links to those. If you join our Facebook group, you can actually see the individual posts that we've done for each of those webinars. And I'm happy to post the link within those posts so that folks can review those independently. How are other distributors paying their clients? We went with ACH, but we were curious if you had heard of anyone using a different method that might be more efficient. I think that ACH is probably the most efficient, Charles, that you could get. We do have some folks that are using QuickBooks. I don't know the mechanism of payment exactly with QuickBooks, whether they're generating paper checks or using ACH, but we do have folks that are doing both. We even have some folks that are using like a company Venmo account was mentioned, which I thought was really interesting, but basically anything that you could do to track these profits. So just in terms of your responsibility as it comes to, or as it relates to distributing funds to your clients, if you distribute more than $600 to a particular client, you'll want to provide them with a 1099. And when you provide them with a 1099, you'll have to provide documentation of the funds that you sent. So anything that you can do to keep a record of those payments that are sent would be beneficial. Okay. And Barry, yes, I am adding you to that list. And thank you for the compliment. Oh, great. Barry, you're coming to Detroit. Very exciting. Yes, I'm looking forward to meeting you as well. You've been on several of these webinars. We have some folks visiting us in Detroit in the next couple of weeks. So really exciting to get some FaceTime with a lot of you. Just a comment from Ralph here. Be sure to take the time to learn how to properly optimize your artwork. I agree, Ralph. Ralph and I spent some time together optimizing some things in his shop. So he knows firsthand how valuable that is. Anthony, if you have joined our Facebook group, you will have access to those webinars. If there are particular topics you're interested in, feel free to respond to my email and I can send you webinars on those particular topics. What about incorporating or integrating into a client's website? So Jim, that's a great question. So there are some limitations with iframing and certain things that folks have done to integrate shops into separate websites. However, the thing that works the best is to utilize your MOQ1 link on the separate website. So when your customer clicks shop, that would take them to the MOQ1 shop. You can do things like 301 redirects if you want to send your client a URL that aligns with your company branding more than MOQ1.com. You can absolutely do that, but just be aware that your customer will land on MOQ1.com after they click that link to browse that particular shop. Okay, I was told I would be receiving gift codes after the last webinar, but I have not received them. Should I email support about this? So you were asked to fill out a form that was in the follow-up email. Luckily, you're attending this webinar, so that form will also be included in this next email. So go ahead and fill that out. If you did fill it out and didn't receive your codes, please just respond to that email and let me know, and I can search the list and see why that didn't happen. But we can make sure that it didn't go to spam or anything like that as well. I generally send those codes out after the webinars, so I try to stay on top of the list of requests. So I apologize if I missed it, but we can review that together and make sure you get your codes. Oh, Heather, there is a new flyer with QR codes. How do we get access to this to provide our client? So I'm going to open this up. This is a new feature we launched this morning that is so exciting. And Heather, I'm really excited that you brought this up. I'm going to open this first and then share my screen. So we have launched new functionality that is available within all MOQ1 shops. So this is available in the marketing tab of your MOQ1 shop. So if you click the shop in question, so you would click My Shops, the shop that you want to grab the flyer for, and then click marketing in the left navigation menu, you'll see this brand new flyer that we are generating for you in real time. So this is a dynamic flyer that includes your client's shop name, the logo, the first logo that they have uploaded, 3 product images that are generated in real time, and you actually have the ability to refresh those product images within the UX. Also, we are including a QR code that scans to bring your client or customer directly to their shop. And the long form URL is there in the bottom left corner as well. So these are available in 100% of MOQ1 shops right now. So you can go into the marketing tab and you'll see that there for you to be able to generate. Also, you'll notice that there is a QR code that you can just copy and paste directly there. I'll see if I can. I X'd out of all my my windows here when I moved over to the Q&A, but let me jump in to this shop that we created really quickly, and I'll show you the exact place where you find that flyer, because that is just really cool functionality I'm super excited about. Okay, so we are back as John, the rep, and I'm going to click on My Shops. I see John's client shops here. And now over here, this is the marketing tab that I'm referring to. So if you click marketing, you'll see we have this printable handout, the QR code. If you click this, it will copy it to your clipboard. But if I click on this, I'm not sure if you guys are seeing this in my browser. I may have to change my share. Here we go. Okay, so this is what pops up when I click on that flyer. So I can print this flyer or I can just refresh my products. And this is going to grab 3 different products and 3 different designs every time this is generated. So if you don't have a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a hoodie in your shop, this will populate with different products. If you have featured products that are at the top of your queue, your featured products will be displayed here as well. So this is really, really cool functionality. I hope that you are all as excited about this as we are. If you have any suggestions for optimizing this flyer or any other information you'd like included there, please let us know. Our developers are eager to hear everyone's reactions here. We worked pretty hard on this one, so they want to make sure that we get it right. Can you provide the general media you are using for MOQ1 so we can use it for rebrand marketing? So Pat, can you provide me just a little bit more context via email? So videos, I believe that you have access to our client shop introduction video that we created for our partners. We sent an email out with that. There's a Vimeo link that I can include in our follow-up response or follow-up email as well, so that you can download that video. That one is really valuable. You can send a shop introduction to your client, and that will roll through all the value propositions of MOQ1 shops. Can we buy some bulk codes for a discount? Sure, Charles, you absolutely can. You can give us a call. We can hook that up for you. Oh, raw files, Pat. So that's a great question. So you mean video clips, I believe. That's something we can probably accommodate. Yeah. I will talk to our marketing team and see if we can get maybe a library of clips that we can make available. Okay. Just some more positive things about the flyer. I love to hear that you love it, Emma. Thank you. And then this is just an FYI from Emma. If you bring the flyer into Illustrator, you can change up the items if you need or add things. So that is really great feedback, actually. I'm not a graphic designer, so my Illustrator skills are subpar at best. So it's great to hear that from someone who is familiar. And I'm going to send that feedback to our team as well. They'll be happy to hear that someone noticed that. Okay, so Ralph, I saw your question and I saw you say that I answered it, so that's great. What are the exact file specs that your client logos should be to ensure they're high quality? So the best resource for that information is going to be in our help center. So that's 1300help.com, 1300help.com. There's an article in there called Designing for Digital Print. There will be a downloadable PDF there that will include all of the specs and all of the optimization tips, but basic specs, transparent PNG, 11 inches wide, 13 inches tall, 300 DPI. Those are our optimal specs. Okay, just more great feedback about the flyers. I love to hear it. How do you change the designs on the default items? Can you create separate designs on different default items? So I believe you're referring to the flyer. I apologize, I'm a little bit behind on the questions. So the designs will be randomly selected based on the designs that you have uploaded. And when you click that refresh button, it will actually change them. The reason that it didn't change on the flyer that I was demonstrating in the portal is because I only uploaded one design to that shop. But if you have 100 designs, it would just continue to generate new designs, new color variants, and new products for you. Okay, great feedback, Jamie. It would be really nice to add your brand logos to it. If you are an Illustrator user, I just heard a few minutes ago that you can pull that file into Illustrator and add some information there. But I'll send that feedback back to the team. Our hope is to eventually make these more dynamic flyers so that you can add and edit information from within the MOQ1 user experience so that you could check a box to have your brand logo included. So that's a little bit further down the line. This is kind of our version 1 of the flyer, but we want to have multiple versions of this flyer available to you in the near future. And just some more compliments about the new marketing stuff. Thank you, Charles. We're super excited about it too. I'm glad to hear it's making an impact. Okay, great. So time is running down. We have a couple more comments rolling in, but no more questions so far. If anything else comes up, please jump in and ask. We do have one question. Can you exclude certain designs from certain items? So it works a little bit differently within the Designing for Digital Print webinar. I believe I review that information. However, if you want your design to only render on particular product colors, you can control that within the design configuration menu. So if you click on a particular design, you can exclude that design from being displayed on certain product colors. So that's really powerful if you have, the simplest example is you have a black design and a white design. You have white products and black products. You don't want the white design on white products. You don't want the black design on black products, right? So you can go in and make those optimizations on a design by design basis. You can also utilize our featured product functionality to lock in certain designs to particular products and print placements. So that featured product functionality is really important if you're trying to get a lot of control over the products that are displayed in the shop. Can you send webinars on sales and marketing? So yes, absolutely. The first episode in this series was on marketing these shops and getting your client to buy into the marketing as well. So that episode was prior to some of these new resources being launched. Like I mentioned, the introduction video and the flyer. So forgive its shortcomings and not mentioning those things, but they didn't exist yet. So yes, I will send you that information, Anthony. I'm just writing it down so I do not forget. Okay. Do you have any best practices and numbers from successful shops? We do. In the marketing webinar, we go through some anonymized examples of MOQ1 users and how they are using their MOQ1 shops. We do not add any financials or numbers to that just to protect their data and information. But if you have any particular questions about how MOQ1 is being utilized with the folks that are super successful with it, we're happy to go through that with you. We want everyone to be successful here. We just want to make sure we're not giving away trade secrets for anyone who is using the platform as well. We respect that you are all business owners and you have your own processes. So anything that we share is with permission from the folks that we share it from. So I just want to make that super clear as well. Okay, it looks like we are running out of time here. Any additional questions that come up, feel free to reply to my follow-up email, or you can reach out to our support team. We're always happy to help. You can give us a call as well, and we will do our best to walk you through anything related to the platform, marketing, utilizing this for your business scenario. So I want to thank you all for coming. If you haven't already, please join the MOQ1 Facebook group. I am one of the administrators there, but we also have several account reps, and many of the folks that are on this webinar and asking these great questions are members as well. So you can interface with other people like you who are utilizing the platform and getting the most of it like you're asking, Anthony. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon, and I appreciate you coming today. Have a great afternoon. Thank you. Bye.